Hi, good morning or good afternoon, and thank you very much for joining today's webinar about Facebook job posting. We are very excited to show you some new recruitment features within the Facebook platform and also share our first thoughts and learnings about it. First, let us present ourselves. My name is Jos van der Kooi. I'm working as a social and Google specialist at VONQ, and today I will be talking about the new features, what they look like, and what you can do with it.
My name is Elsa Cornet. I'm a social media expert at VONQ, and I will tell you something more about the insights of using the Facebook jobs.
And some information beforehand. You will all be on mute. At the end of our webinar, there will be some time for answering questions, so feel free to ask your questions in the tab Questions. And the webinar is being recorded and will be sent to you afterwards. So what we'll be discussing today. First, we have a look what is new on Facebook and specifically their recruitment features. We divided it into 3 features: how to post a job, how the Facebook job board is looking, the Facebook ATS, and Elsa will show you our first results and learnings, and also give you some interesting insights and best practices on posting on Facebook. And of course, what we think will be the future of Facebook in the recruitment world. So let's start off with the question that is very important, why Facebook is such an interesting platform for recruitment. If you look at some facts, there are 2 billion worldwide users on the Facebook platform, and that leads to a billion hours spent daily on Facebook. And if you look at the average daily spend per user, that is 30 minutes. So it's safe to say that probably your target group, or at least a big part of it, is still active on Facebook. So let's see what is new on Facebook. Facebook recently introduced 3 new recruitment features. They're called the Facebook job posting, and that's a new way of posting jobs on Facebook. And we will get to that later on. Mainly interesting to see that it's easy to create a job post. You can add specific job offer content, already can include questions or killer questions, and there are already some advertising possibilities as well. What Facebook also launched is their own job board. You can check it out on the link that will be sent to you later on. Still in early stage, so there's not much filtering options yet. But for example, you can already look for jobs in your region and also create a job alert. We will get to that later as well. And last of the 3 features is the Facebook applicant tracking system that they introduced. They have an own internal system now within Facebook, where you can get the applications that are done through Facebook. And what is interesting to see there is that you can get information of the applicant's information that was put on their Facebook account. So let's have a look at the Facebook job posting and where to create it. If you go to your company's page or company's account and want to post something on your wall, you can see that there is a new feature that says publish a job post. If you click on it, you will get to a new kind of interface, which we'll show you at the moment. And you will immediately see that it's really specific for recruitment. In the job post publisher, you get different specific recruitment options, such as the salary indication, what kind of job type it is it full-time, part-time, or is it an internship? You can add the location of the job, and you also can add an extensive job description that can hold up to 5,000 characters. And what is interesting to see as well is that you already can include questions. So if you would like a motivation, for example, you can create an open question, but you can also ask specific yes or no or multiple choice questions. And on the right hand side, you immediately see what the post will look like on desktop or mobile. So let's have a look how that looks on desktop or mobile. On the left-hand side, on the top of it, you see a desktop post that will be shared on the timeline of your followers. And on the below that, you will see the mobile version of it. And what immediately is interesting to see is that there's a call to action that is specifically for recruitment. And as you can see, it says apply now. So it's really already action driven. If you click on the text, it will open up the new interface of the job post, where you can immediately see the entire text. This is an example of how we created a specific job post for one of our open vacancies. And as you can see, that you can put a lot of extra content in there. If you click on apply now, you will get immediately an application form, specifically that the one that you have been creating on the publisher. So what you do see is that you get the name, your phone or your email address, and also you can answer the questions that has been given by you in your post. And what is interesting as well is that the experience in education can be added from your Facebook account. So you can actually create a, let's say, a Facebook resume to apply immediately. And with one extra click, you have applied on a job on Facebook. So what is interesting, of course, for us as well as for your company is the possibility to boost this kind of job post as well. There's one remark. What we did see and what we tested already is that the number of targeting options is pretty limited. You only can pick a location and a radius of your location, and you can set up the budget. Elsa will tell you a little bit more about the first result we get, but for now we think the options are still lacking. But of course, Facebook is still adjusting a lot on this platform. So let's get to the second new feature within Facebook called the Facebook job board. If you go to facebook.com/jobs, you will get to this page. And it's the own job board within Facebook. Looking like a really regular job board with not much filtering yet at the moment. What you can do is search for location, job type, and industry. But the number of industries you see is still pretty limited, but they are expanding it. And what is interesting as well is that you can create a job opening in this job board. So it's really an extra channel to look for jobs, but interesting as well, if you create a job post, it will be visible on this job board as well. So let's see how it works on the other side, on your side. If someone applied on one of your job posts, you will receive a notification in Facebook, and if necessary, on an email address you can include. And you immediately see the small resume that has been built up by the work experience or education that is coming from Facebook. We already see some new features that weren't there on the first launch. For example, you can now download already the PDF of a resume. You can check if the applicant is qualified or not qualified, and this is also done by email. The place where you can all find your applications is the Facebook ATS. Let me first show you how to get there, because it's still a bit hidden. But if you are on your company page, you can go to Publishing Tools, and there on the left-hand side you will see Jobs and Job Applications, which open up the ATS of Facebook. There are some basic ATS options, such as you can immediately invite or reject a meeting. So let's see what that looks like. Let's say if we open up a resume of one of our applicants.
That's me.
And let's say we want to schedule an interview. We can create it within Facebook, and immediately, in this case, Elsa will get a message in Facebook Messenger, and the application is done by my Facebook and already booked, you can add it to your calendar as well. So one of the main questions we had on beforehand, without even looking into results, was of course, what are the pros and the cons of using Facebook job post, and what do we think is already interesting now to see? It is an extra channel for posting jobs, so that's definitely something that is very interesting from early on. It's really specific for creating job posts on Facebook, with some extra recruitment options that we previously discussed. It's available for free, which is of course pretty nice if you want to just test it. And one of the main benefits is the accessibility for users. What you will see is that an application is done pretty fast, because with a couple of clicks and based on your account information, you can easily apply on certain jobs. Another benefit, of course, is the Facebook ATS, where you can directly schedule your interviews and check your applications as well. And there are advertising possibilities to proactively reach your target group as well. However, one con is that those options are still pretty limited as well. So if we look to further cons, one of the main downfalls is probably the Facebook ATS cannot connect yet to your own ATS. So that means you will have to work with both, which might of course be a big downfall to start with working with the Facebook ATS. And what we did see is that really still an early version. So not a lot of features yet, not a lot of targeting features yet. But what we do see is that they are working on it, and of course, Facebook with 2 billion users, it's a lot. And what we the information that was lacking at the moment was also the numbers, like how many users are active in the job board, or the reach, or the interaction. We do believe that's coming, but that is still missing at the moment. So here's the pros and the cons. And I think it's very interesting to see what the first results are that we have been discovering using these 3 new features on Facebook. So Elsa will take over from here.
Yes. So we've posted our own jobs. As you can see on the right, we are currently looking for a senior project manager. So we took this chance to test Facebook jobs. What we noticed is that job posts reach somewhat more people because of the extra placements on the job board. Also, we noticed the feature is still in beta version because the feature is still in an early stage. Also, we tested the paid advertising module, and that's something that's very interesting to see. The paid advertising function is performing equal to other ad possibilities. So on the graph, you see a comparison of a regular ad on the left, and then 2 job ads on the right. As you can see, the cost per click is somewhat the same. Now let's move on to the future of Facebook jobs. What do we think Facebook jobs can be some time from now? As you can see, Facebook has 20 times more active monthly users than LinkedIn. On Facebook, you can also target bus drivers, sous chefs, caregivers, while on LinkedIn, you'll find more profiles on finance, economics, and marketing. Facebook is the biggest social platform in the world and has a very varied group of users. So it has the potential to become the most important recruitment tool, we think. So what's our current advice? I would say being an early adapter may be well worth the time, because in the period from launch till now, so within 2 months, we already noticed that Facebook is developing the feature and make it more user-friendly. As the success of the feature heavily depends on the Facebook support and development, we would advise to integrate job posting as part of your total campaign plan. Create a job opportunity, post it on your page, and reserve a small budget to boost your job post by creating an ad. Now, As an extra in this webinar, I would like to give you some best practices when it comes to recruitment marketing on Facebook. So the coming slides, I will give you some tips, tricks, and insights when it comes to using Facebook as a recruiter or marketeer. When using Facebook to promote your job offers or employer brand, 3 things are important before start. At VONQ, we make use of Facebook and Instagram every day with the aim to find the perfect candidates for your organization. And when it comes to practical use of the Facebook platform, there are 3 variables that are influence your campaign results. So here they are. The first one is your target group. The first variable is the setup of your target group. You can set up a target group yourself, named custom audiences, or you can choose to create lookalikes. I will tell you more about these 2 types later on. The second variable is content. When reaching out to your target group, you should keep some simple rules in mind when it comes to the visual aspect and also when it comes to the uses of text. We have some pretty cool insights and do a lot of A/B tests in order to create the best performing Facebook and Instagram ads for our clients. So that's something I like to share with you for the next slides. And the third variable that influences your campaign is, of course, budget. How many budget do you need to make an impact in your target group? We are happy to advise our clients about this, as this is really a matter of the campaign goals you have, the size of your target group, and the available content. We will not discuss this within this webinar, but we are happy to help you out. So first, I'm going to give you some tips about creating a target group. So as you can see on the left, this is the screen of Facebook Business Manager when you create a custom audience. You can insert some demographics like age and location. And on the left-hand side, on the bottom, you can see that it's also possible to create lookalike audiences. And what's that? I will tell you something about it. What lookalike audience is that Facebook creates, with the data from your campaigns and fan base and website visitors, a group that consists of a similar group of people as the people who have shown involvement on your page, with your campaign, or people who have visited your website. So it's really a lookalike audience. In this slide, you see the result of a recent A/B test we performed. We are not showing the whole campaign and all details, of course, but what we do want to share is commonly this. Lookalike audiences are performing really good. As you can see at the results of this particular A/B test, the ad we made for the custom target group was performing a click-through rate of nearly 1%, while the ad we created for the lookalike audience was performing almost twice as good. Conclusion, Facebook's algorithm is doing a great job. Now let's move on to the content. Of course, visual attractiveness is very important while creating an ad on Facebook, and can really have an impact on your campaign results. We did an A/B test with 2 types of images. On the left, you see example 1. That's an image that's not very personal and can be related to a lot of jobs. While example B, there you can see a happy person is shown. It's very clear related to the job offer, customer support. So it's not strange that we see there a CTR from that's performing a whole lot better, like twice as better. Let's move on to text. Speaking of content, text is also a great part of it and can also influence your campaign results. I will present 2 proven theories, and the one is the clearer, the better. In example A, you see we chose for text, company X is searching for job X for location X. While in example B, we have a clear opening that is saying job opportunity. company X is searching for job X for location X. You can see example B is performing a lot better. Another proven theory, ask for engagement and you will get it. So as you can see in example A, we have 2 cool job opportunities. Take a look at it. While in example B, we are asking for engagement. So we say, we have 2 cool job opportunities. Hit like if you prefer job offer X, or hit love if you prefer job offer I. As you can see, example B is performing a whole lot better. So that was my part of this presentation, of this webinar. We are coming to this slide where you can ask your questions, and we are looking at it right now if there are any questions you have given us.
Yeah, well, we do already see some very interesting questions coming up. One of them is pretty practical and is, can I already order Facebook job posting as a product through your job marketing platform, so the VONQ job marketing platform? Which is a very good question, but we do believe in this current state of Facebook job posting, it's still too customizable, and we wouldn't recommend it yet as one channel. Really make it a part of your marketing mix and try to experiment with it to see how it's working for you. And therefore, it's not yet included in our job marketing platform, but of course, feel free to contact us so we can discuss the possibilities for your company. One other question is that I think we already mentioned before. Do you guys think this will be the new disruptor in the recruitment world? Which is an excellent question, and Facebook definitely has the papers to become that disruptor. If you look at the number of users worldwide and the daily spend of it, it has a huge reach. And like Els already mentioned, the variety of persons on Facebook is very large. And of course, Facebook has very deep pockets and a big R&D department to be able to create more and more unique features that are shown to us on a weekly basis. So that's definitely something that we are still looking for. If there's anything new, please, we will let you know through our website or, of course, on Facebook itself. But bottom line, definitely the current features are still too limited to say it's already the disruptor, but Facebook can definitely become a big player on the recruitment market.
So another question you have asked us is for what kind of position is this example? Yeah, as we mentioned earlier, Facebook is a really great tool to reach out to a lot of different people. So within LinkedIn, you see a lot of profiles that are more focusing on finance, economics, and marketing functions. On Facebook, you can reach out to a lot more people like truck drivers, flight attendees, etc. So basically, you can use Facebook jobs for whatever kind of position you have in your company. Yeah, that's it.
All right. Another interesting question about the size for graphics. What's the Facebook recommending size for graphics for the new job feature? As you have seen in this presentation, you can add a specific visual. I think it's definitely good to come back to you specifically, and we can show you a specification list of what can be done. We usually always say test it as well, because it might look very good on desktop, but maybe on mobile it's not that pretty. Fortunately, there is a good preview modus already in the job post publisher. And one of our best practices is there are people who are reading and there are people who are watching. So make that content visual to get people excited, but also with a proper message. So indeed, the proper job title, or an interesting job title for that matter. We do have another question, and that is, what do you think about the job board? We just showed you the example of what is already possible on the job board. And what is very interesting to see is, of course, if you look at the daily spend of about 30 minutes per user on Facebook, this can definitely become something you are doing on the time on Facebook. You just click on the job tab, and you see, hey, are there any jobs available for me? My current experience is that the algorithm is not yet working entirely as it should be, because the job titles or the jobs I get in my job alert are very varying to starter for in a restaurant to a senior accountant. So there's still some work to be done on that matter, but definitely interesting to see what Facebook will be coming up on the job board as well.
Yes, and another question we see is that what are the plans in terms of Facebook ATS integration with the existing ones? Yeah, I like to think that Facebook is working on that to make it more user-friendly and to connect it with other ATS systems, but we do not know exactly. So
now, I think to continue on that is that the entire rollout of these features was actually pretty surprising. While everyone here and within the recruitment world is probably most excited about what Google will be doing with Google for Jobs, and suddenly Facebook had these new features. We immediately contact our account manager at Facebook, and the information is still pretty limited on that part.
Yeah.
If we do have any news or updates on that, we will definitely let you know.
Okay, so another question. The Facebook ATS tool and posting as well works only with the company page, or can it also be used with a private profile? Very good question. Yes, it's indeed, you can only use it if you have a company page. So you cannot publish a job post if you don't have a company page.
All right. And that is one of the questions we get as well. That what's your experience on the ATS and the information you are getting from that? What we do see is that it's really user friendly. You can easily apply through your Facebook account. That information is coming from that account as well. But there are still some flaws in it. For example, if your company location on Facebook is Amsterdam, but you're looking for people in London, it automatically states Amsterdam as your headquarters and the place of the job, which is kind of a major downfall, of course, if you want to target for the proper location. And that's just one example of the fact that it's still an early stage, and they're still working on those kind of algorithms and new features. Based on that, we also do see a question: can you only apply with the Facebook profile info, or can applicants actually apply by submitting their CV and cover letter?
Yeah.
That's really an interesting question. There is a workaround if you see uploading of a CV is not yet possible.
No.
They really want to keep it short and easy to apply. Which is definitely a benefit on mobile, where you do not have your resume yet or not available. But there is room for asking specific questions. So if you really want the motivation, it's not a setting by default, but you can create an open question. That question can contain up to 200 characters, so you can ask your candidates for small motivation. But uploading is not yet available.
So another question is, who is the right person to contact on Facebook site? Well, you can always contact support of Facebook itself, and then ask your questions there. There's also a very good information page about Facebook jobs that is covering almost all the questions you will have. So just type in Google Facebook jobs and you will get to the landing page of Facebook itself, where you can find all information about Facebook jobs. And I think that's also they will also refer to a contact or support number or person or email address there.
And of course, feel free to contact us. Our contact details are in this presentation as well, and we really are excited to look at the opportunities for your company. And if there are any specific questions to Facebook, we can definitely ask our contact person within Facebook to help your company out. So feel free to reach out to us as well.
An interesting question, once again, what are on average the cost per hire we can expect on Facebook? So, Jos.
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. Of course, something that we are looking into as well. I think it's too soon to answer that already. If we look at the spend we had on our specific job post, we were running, of course, some experiments. But the cost per hire is pretty hard to calculate in this early stage of those features of Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And what we mentioned earlier, we really advise to use job posting as an extra channel in your marketing mix, and not specifically just post it on Facebook only. Mainly for two reasons. One, it's pretty easy to apply through Facebook, but your organic views of your job offer are only the ones that already following your company. So it's important to have a proper budget, since you have to reach it by advertising your job. And what we mentioned earlier, the advertising possibilities are pretty endless on Facebook if you look at the different type of ads. Unfortunately, for job posts, they are very limited at the moment, where you just can click the location and let Facebook do their job. Where, of course, it's very interesting to be able to have all those kinds of targeting options that Facebook provides us. And one question that follows up this answer: can we target people beyond our current followers of the page? Yeah, that is indeed the case. But what is possible only at the moment is to boost a certain post, so not create a specific job ad, but just boost the job post.
Yep.
And where we do see there are some interesting facts coming from it, but the information and the targeting options are still
limited.
Exactly.
We saw the slide that Jos presented. You can only target people on location base, so that's the only targeting option you have. So that's indeed still very limited.
So we have another question about our experience with ATS, which I think is definitely interesting to see what Facebook is going to do with it. One of the downfalls we earlier mentioned is that it's another ATS. Integration with your own ATS is not yet possible. However, there is a way to let the applications come in your inbox. But for example, that can only be done yet on one email address.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, if there are more recruiters in your company, that might be an issue.
Mm-hmm.
But the interesting fact is that every time we check out the ATS, there's something new to be found. For example, in the early stage, you just could plan an interview, and now you can already qualify the application or the applicant. You can download the resume already. Those are just small steps, but makes us believe that Facebook is definitely still working on it and improve it on a daily or weekly basis. Definitely interesting if you're not yet using an ATS and want a quick way to be able to see your Facebook applications instead of just an email. And of course, what is interesting is that they are using Facebook Messenger as their main communication tool. That's of course used by a lot of Facebook users as well. It really makes the contact direct since you just chat with your candidate immediately. So that's very interesting to see what they come up with the future. For now, it definitely lacks some vital ATS functionalities, but it's definitely worth to keep looking out for it and to see what they're going to do with it.
So, are there any questions you would like to ask us? You can still do.
There's a new question coming up about any advice on creating a specific job post. I think what Elsa already mentioned, what is good as well with creating a job post as well, is to experiment with it. To see what is really important for your candidates on Facebook. So to focus on, for example, the salary. Is that interesting for your specific target group? You can include it. Some killer questions that might be interesting for you. So, are you willing to travel or stuff like that? You can immediately qualify your applications. And what we previously discussed about the image, make sure that it's enticing as well. So the job post will be seen on the timelines of your followers or your target group that you are boosting. What's of course the already mentioned by Elsa as well, the text is very important. Make sure you have an interesting header or a first introduction that makes people want to read on what's in your job offer.
Another question: can we access all the data of the profile that have applied for the job in the Facebook ATS? How about exporting that data? Yeah, Jos,
yeah, it's a good question as well. It's not yet easy to make an entire abstract of it. But what we just mentioned is that it's already possible to download the resumes you are receiving as a PDF. So in that way, it is already possible to export some information. But for now, there aren't any easy integrations with other tools or other platforms yet. Yeah.
No. Well, I think we can close the Q&A and go to the thank you page, because we like to thank you for all your attention.
Yeah, thank you very much for listening in, and feel free to ask any questions you might have afterwards. You can contact us directly or send an email to our general email address, hello@vonq.com. Of course, you can follow us on Facebook as well to keep yourself updated on everything that is new on Facebook job postings, but also on other recruitment marketing related news and updates. And if you do have any experience or things that weren't mentioned by us yet concerning Facebook job postings, their job board or ATS, we are definitely excited to hear those. So feel free to reach out, and we can discuss the possibilities and new opportunities for you and your company.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.